Evening all, and welcome to episode 33 of Kerbalism. Now, last time out, things went terribly wrong. I made the huge mistake of, several mistakes. Firstly, I didn't put any parachutes on the vessel that we was launching to Minmus, so there was no way my Kerbals were coming home. Secondly, I under-engineered the vehicle and it used more fuel than I expected to get into orbit, so would have struggled to actually do the missions we had planned. And thirdly, when I did do the burn to go to Minmus, I went to the moon instead. Not sure what I was thinking, not sure exactly how I'd mix the two up. They're very different colours and very different sizes, but nevertheless, we went to the moon and we went to go and see Jeb. Jebediah was stranded in orbit because, again, I had under-engineered his vessel, so we decided instead to take the craft there, refuel his ship, put all our Kerbals on board, and bring his moon recovery vessel, the MRV. Bring that back to Kerbal because that actually has parachutes and the Kerbals can hopefully come home without dying. So let's pick up where we left off and see how this all goes. You need to unplug that. There is nothing to unplug. Can you grab this? Can we G? Spark cannot be detached with that at all. Don't have anything to plug in. Unplug. Unplug. Right. And oh dear. Oh, we're going to have a collision. Quick, you grab that, get him, switch over, rotate. I don't want to break the solar panels. Okay, so rotate round. Right, bring the RCS back online and have a look, see what happened here. We were, of course, travelling towards Jebediah, which is fine, but I want to make sure that we stay sort of relative to him. I basically don't want to be mucking about with Bob or Bill, in space doing things, and then discover that this is floated off. That's not what we want to happen. I don't mind them tapping each other, that's fine. I just don't want to destroy the solar panels on this thing. We have got a big battery in the other one, but until I can hook them up, I don't quite know how I can do that. Right, that looks better. So let's rotate ourselves around again. We are again heading towards them. That's okay. I think we're okay. Let's do that. There we are. They'll bump into each other, but that's okay. That's absolutely fine. So why can I not? There is nothing to unplug. Because I'm using the wrong thing. Right, Bill, out you get again. And on your trusty thruster pads. And point that way. Must remember to use the spacebar. The other thing, of course, is now that the crafts are actually facing the wrong direction to be plugged into each other. They are grinding up against each other there. That little bit of spacecraft love going on there. Give each other a little kiss. So we don't grab the plug. We grab the winch and we grab the connector. Can't grab it. It's locked with a part. Lock connector. Head has not been grabbed. Grab connector. Okay. So Bill, stay there a moment. Jeb, release the winch. Release. There we are. Okay. Retract that. Right. Oh dear. Oh dear. Aha! 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 Right, so we've got this thing floating around here. I'm sure I put inside the command pod. I really hope this doesn't hit Bill and make him fly off anyway. I'm sure I put in the command pod grab on, there we are, and board. There we are. Right, you're safe now. Okay. So, retract. Retract. Come on. Oh, it's spinning very fast. There we are. Right, okay. I'm sure I did put in the seats. Who's inventory? Jebs inventory. Yes, I did. Excellent. Bill. Take that. Now, we have obviously managed to make this all go weird. Right. Bill. Let go. Turn your RCS on. Dear Bill. Bill, you need to grab that. You need to grab that. Inventory. That is a very important part. I actually thought these were supposed to be attached to the end of the winch. It's not. These are apparently a point. Grab that. Put it in your inventory. Yes! Excellent. Right. Now, Bill. Go down to here. And anywhere will do. Book. Full stop. Now, Bill is to... and hold H. Tools. Ah, right. Okay. So cancel that. We need to equip that. There we are. Drag that out. Hold H. Clip it on. Right. There we are. Bill coming. Off you go back to there. Right, this is very long and winded. Grab the connector. Excellent. Back we go. Down we go. And if I can get this right, we then right click on the connector and we go plug docked. And there we are. Both spacecraft are now one. They will be doing very odd things, as you can see. So let's move Bill out of the way so he doesn't get smacked into the middle of space. Let's do this. Let's turn SAS on and say point prograde. Okay, it would appear that the graphs are doing some weird things with each other. Let's turn off SS. Let's just turn it back on and tell it to stop. Just stop. Let's go back to Bill before he flies off into the wilderness. And Bill, you can get on board this one here. Oh dear, wrong buttons, many wrong buttons. Don't do that. Turn around again. Oh, wow. And grab onto that. Down you go. In you go. Job done. We are happy. They are moving towards each other for some unknown reason. I don't quite know why that is. But it doesn't really matter. That's unless this winch is actually... Oh, we're going to have a collision. We are going to have a collision. Not sure why they are doing that. The winch isn't set to retract. No, it extended. Of course. Of course. Kerbal physics at its finest here. Both these vessels, because they are attached and docked, are treated by the game engine as one ship. And in order to simplify things, when they are one ship, they can travel through each other without causing problems. That's how you can move an engine inside a fuel tank and not have any problems with it. How you can put RCS thrusters through the bottom of a heat shield, something I saw Scott Manley do the other day, and I thought that was genius. Allows you to have little thrusters actually poking through a heat shield, but because they're actually technically on the ship and not the heat shield, they don't burn up in the atmosphere. Little cheaty, but, well, genius. But anyway, I digress. We now want to travel? We want to transfer all the fuel into this one. So, empty the tanks, fill up the MRV. Because the MRV has parachutes, and parachutes are an integral thing for actually getting Kerbals back home again. There we are, all full. So, right, if I cancel that off, if I was to transfer the fuel out of that one, oh, what was I doing there? No, what? No, right. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to transfer the crew. Transfer crew. Valentina can go into the pod, and Bob can go into that, which means this is now completely empty. Yes, and this is not. Okay, that means we're going to leave this craft in orbit of the moon for the time being. It could be used for something else. It does have a docking port on top, which could make it quite useful. I could fire the engine and let it go, but I'm not going to do that. I am instead going to undock that. That makes these two craft completely separate. This one is now of absolutely no use or control or anything. It will just go round and round the moon. And, yeah, that'll do. That will do. This one, however, the winch leads are very strange. Very, very strange. Retract the winch lead. Of course, that craft there does have a winch plug on it now, so we can easily reconnect to it. Got a little bit of fuel as well. But that's okay. We now have 1,483 meters a second of delta V on this craft. Which means that we can break lunar orbit, or moonar orbit, sorry. We can head back to Kerbal, and we can bring all our brave Kerbals back home. So, how do we do that? We are currently travelling down, which is what we want to do. We want to fire the engine now. There we are. You fire the engine, you come out the back of the moon's orbit, or whatever planet you're doing, in order to slow down. So to return to the centre body, you fire off against the orbit. And there we are. There we are. Now, if I carry on firing the engine, I'm going to do it nice and gently. we'll see the periaps come down and the aparaps rise. But we should, in theory, be able to actually get back into the atmosphere of Kerbin using this one manoeuvre, because we're on the right side of the planet. If we were to fire the other way and fire along that way, so we fired up, because obviously our orbit is... Oh, there we go. It's going up again now. So, right, there we are. 800 is about the closest we can get. But yes, if we were to... I've got many different orbits here. That's our orbit there. If we were to fire here and fire up, it would cause this to go out, because wherever you fire, the opposite side goes out. That would mean we travel along our orbit in a positive way, which would actually mean that instead of our orbit coming down, it would go up. So if you wanted to transfer from the moon to Mimbus, you would fire along the moon's orbit. If you want to return to Kerbin, you fire against the moon's orbit. Now, I think I've explained this before, and you probably all know this already, so I'm probably just preaching to the choir. But sometimes I need to say these things out loud so that I even get them stuck into my head, because I make mistakes a lot. I do weird things. The moon, I should have done the inclination change on the moon when I launched. That's the most efficient way to do it. And I should have also made sure I was heading to the right astral body when I did my burn, because I was aiming for Mimbus and I ended up at the moon, which is not like delivering the mail to the wrong house on the street. That's like delivering the mail to the wrong planet. So, yeah. Mistakes have been made, but it's okay. The thing I'm a little worried about is water. We have 1 day, 5 hours of water remaining. I'm not entirely sure. That's enough to get home. That's fine. These batteries produce water, and as was pointed out by another comment, somebody called Chris Evans. I assume not the Chris Evans, either one, because, well, there's the UK TV guy and there's the obviously Captain America. But yeah, he pointed out that you can have on your crew pods, on any crew pod, you can obviously have pressure control and a scrubber and things like that. Pressure control allows Kerbals to live happily in their pod with atmosphere, keeps them happy. Not required. They could live in their spacesuits, so yeah, if you give them plenty of space to move around, they could happily live in their spacesuits. The scrubber recycles oxygen, recycles carbon dioxide, or gets rid of carbon dioxide, so your Kerbals don't die of poisoning. If I had a carbon dioxide tank on here, I could get rid of the scrubber, because then it would empty the oxygen and fill the carbon dioxide. You can in place put a water purifier to replenish the water that's used, so that would give you more water as well. All sort of things I need to seriously think about when building this base, which I have again done another episode of not actually doing, but rescuing all of our brave orange suited Kerbals I feel was a higher priority. So let's break the moon's orbit. There we are. Broken. And we are travelling down towards the surface of Kerbin. So, we want to point retrograde, because that's how you slow down. And then far around him. And 42, let's go down to 40. Oh, there, 39.7, that'll do. That's well in the atmosphere. I do have plenty of fuel left, so I think I'm going to do another one of those little manoeuvres. Oh no, I want to set the target there. I think I'll come to here somewhere, add a manoeuvre, and just slow ourselves down again, but make sure I stay in Kerbin's atmosphere. The idea behind this is obviously if I come in right now, we're going to be coming in very fast, and either burn up, which is unlikely because we've got that big heat shield, or worst case scenario, not slow down enough and shoot off into space. Obviously the craft's life support is the other side of the heat shield, so I'd have to drop that before entering the atmosphere, and I don't really want to drop that and then end up shooting off into space again and all 4 of them die. So by making a maneuver here to slow ourselves down but then change the trajectory of our orbit. I'm not sure what the blue one is. That goes up and down, that goes left and right, and that goes forward and backwards, basically. But by doing this, it allows me to slow the craft down, stay in orbit, in the atmosphere, sorry, like that, there we are. But we'd be coming in much, much slower. It makes life a lot safer for the Kerbals. Because we don't want them to die, do we? That's not what we're here for. We've had enough death. Oh, there we are. Okay, let's that'll do for me. That's bring us down quite low. That's more Delta V than we have, so I'll need to keep an eye on that to make sure our periapse is always inside the atmosphere whilst firing that maneuver. I will also remember to transfer the food and water into the pod. I think that's before we undock, because that's going to be somewhat important. But yes, we're on our way home, so I'll see you when we get there. So we're here, almost had our little manoeuvre, and something that I've noticed a few times with this sort of thing, if you fire directly away from the planet, literally put the planet underneath you, so you're firing at sort of 0 degrees directly up, that's how you change your periapse should stay roughly the same, roughly the same height, and it will slow your craft down. So always useful to know. That's obviously slightly over there. There we are. That's why I've got that maneuver node there. Yeah, no, that's not actually working. So actually, it's sort of halfway between your retrograde marker and directly away from the planet. That's, as you can see, bringing our orbit down, but keeping our periapse at a decent height. You can obviously move a little bit towards the marker to raise the periapse, or away from it to lower it. So yeah, basically it's in between the retrograde marker and directly away from the planet. And there we are, maneuver complete. Our periapse is 40 kilometers, so we're going to be caught in the atmosphere, and our apoapse has come right down from pretty much out of the moon to 576 kilometers. That means that instead of coming in at probably around 3,000 meters a second, we're going to be coming in at 2. So that obviously helps to get, one, caught by the atmosphere so we don't burn up and die. Well, one, so we don't burn up and die, and two, get caught by the atmosphere so we don't fly off into space. But yeah, we are on our way home. And down they come, making their final approach on top of some Kerbal city, apparently. But yes, Jeb, Bill, Bob, and Valentina Kerman, welcome back. Home, safe and sound, ready for the next adventure up to the stars. That will come next time. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you again in the next one, where I promise I will try and get the moon base started. It's all gone terribly wrong so far, but I'll do my best. So yes, until then, as always, have fun.